Numbers is how that is disproportionately hitting Chinese Canadian youth. Youth unemployment for Chinese Canadian youth is particularly high, and I'll go into the specific numbers in that in a moment. First jobs are so important for young people. They're where they get critical skills, start on the train to building up a long-term career, and because of bad Liberal policy decisions, the youth starter job is under serious threat. So the numbers out today are that the youth unemployment rate has gone up to 14.6%. The overall youth employment rate is down at its lowest level in over 25 years. So as a result of Liberal policies, this is a historic low for youth employment, not seen since 1998, and this has been the trajectory over a number of years now. That employment is down, unemployment is up among Canadian youth, and now we're at this tragic, more than 25-year historic high for youth unemployment. Statistics Canada went into some detail looking at different ethnocultural groups in the employment and unemployment rates there and the impact on young people. So among Chinese Canadian youth, the unemployment rate is 20.5%. So that means that more than 1 in 5 young Chinese Canadians are out of work right now. So this is reflective of the broader trend, but higher numbers for Chinese Canadian youth. Also seeing a higher level for other youth from different minority communities. And I think this reflects particular challenges that are in large urban centers. Failures of planning by the government on the economic as well as the immigration front are putting so much pressure on young people who are trying to get their first job. So in that context, I want to underline as well that Conservatives had called for a summer study of youth unemployment. Parliament has barely sat this year, so we thought we should have a summer study of student unemployment. We should have parliamentarians being willing to get to work so that young people can get to work as well. We put forward that motion right before Parliament recessed, and sadly the Liberals opposed it. They blocked us from doing a summer study of youth unemployment. But in spite of the Liberals not wanting to work during the summer, Conservatives are working hard over the summer to address the youth unemployment crisis. I was in Newfoundland yesterday meeting with people talking about youth unemployment. I've been to British Columbia. We're going to be in Quebec in a couple weeks, and we're spending a lot of time, of course, here in Toronto, highlighting these issues, talking to employers, to young people, and to not-for-profit organizations about how we can confront the youth unemployment crisis. I'm going to be meeting with business owners later today in the Newmarket area and in Brampton to hear their ideas, their solutions, and looking forward to continuing this work that Liberals wouldn't do, but the Conservatives are prepared to do to confront the youth unemployment crisis. And very pleased to be joined by my colleagues Costas and Sandra, who are very much seized with this issue and helping with the work that Conservatives are doing to propose constructive solutions to fix the Liberal policy failures and help get young people back on the road to jobs and opportunity. Thanks very much.
Everyone, thank you very much, Alex, for hosting us here today, and thank you to all of you for being here and meeting with us. Thank you to Garnett, his riding is all the way out in the great province of Alberta, but he's traveling the country talking about these very important issues as we are in, as you heard, a critical situation, especially with respect to youth unemployment, but not exclusively. We are inundated in our offices with a large number of issues, particularly in these very diverse communities that we represent here in Richmond Hill, in Aurora, in Newmarket. Issues of immigration, issues of course, labor and unemployment, businesses struggling. The country is in a crisis, and as Garnett said, we've only sat this year, the Parliament of Canada has sat, I believe, a total of 20 days. We're in August now. Parliament has sat for 20 days. But the Prime Minister and his government thought it prudent, rather than continue working through the summer on important issues that are affecting Canadian families across the country and Canadian businesses, that they felt it was important to take to go off on their summer break and their summer vacations. We asked for on many occasions, we asked for groups to work through the summer with us to ensure that we do the important work that needs to be done to address these issues. But unfortunately, they shut the door. They shut the door on us. We even have. I'll give you a small example, and I will finish off with this. The fiscal year for Government of Canada starts April 1. The annual budget is about $500 billion, about $483 billion. So we asked for a budget. Of course, the fiscal year started April 1. Normally, a budget comes out very close to April 1, usually before that date. They refused to put out a budget. They said, we'll speak to you, we'll present a budget sometime in the fall. So imagine this. Imagine a Canadian goes into a bank and asks for a loan and says, I would like $100,000 for something specific, but I'll come back in 6 months to give you my justification. What would a banker say to that person? It would say, come back when you have your paperwork and your justification. We're not going to give you the $100,000. Well, Prime Minister Carney and the Liberals thought it prudent to go out and spend this money before an opportunity to present a budget in Parliament, to have important debate and a review by all parties. And we all, irrespective of whether we're part of the governing Liberal Party, we all represent our constituents, and we're there because people give us a right to be there and to be their voice. And unfortunately, they have continuously shown a complete disrespect for the process of Parliament and for the will of the Canadian people. So I'm delighted to be here today. I'm going to finish off with this and pass it off to my exceptional colleague, the Member of Parliament for Newmarket Aurora, Sandra Cobena.
And for everybody being here today, I think just more broadly speaking about unemployment, the report today also highlights that we have lost 41,000 jobs in the month of July alone. And that's a big number, and the concentration, of course, as Garnett mentioned, is amongst the youth, but it's also job losses within the private sector, and that's a big story, particularly after an election that we just went through, where we did hear from a lot of the business owners about the challenges that they are having. Not only with labor, but just running a business altogether. And we are looking at the numbers of all the investment that Canada is losing, the challenges that business owners, Canadian business owners that decide to stay, that choose to stay, are having. And so the fundamentals are not being looked at for business owners to actually thrive and to grow, for that small business to become a medium-sized business and eventually a large-sized business. And it is frustrating as a newly elected member of Parliament that this Liberal government chose to close Parliament for the summer, despite the fact that there were all the Conservatives pushing for Parliament to stay open. If you look at the U.S. Congress has worked 100 days this year. The Canadian Parliament has been open for 20 days. This entire year. 20 days. And the Prime Minister could have maintained the Parliament open for the summer, but he chose to send everybody on a summer vacation while we have all these issues that were clearly communicated during the election. And so now we're looking at unemployment numbers, and it is not shocking. And we cannot brush them off as well. Part of the issue is the tariffs, because when you look at the report, there are close to 400,000 Canadians that have been looking for a job for over 2 years. So the numbers are big, and the issue is with the fact that the fundamentals are not being looked at We have a prime minister right now who is talking about major projects. So every province, select your favorite projects and they will be exempt from the rules. Well, if they're being exempt from the rules, that means that the rules don't work. And why only a select number of businesses will be able to be successful while the rest will not be able to be successful, will continue to struggle because of all the red tape and the rules that don't make sense and overtaxation. And